Hey guys, and welcome to this video about a new feature in FIFA 19, the timed finishing. I'm Benjamin, also known as Tess, and in this video I want to give you an introduction how this new feature looks like and also how it works. So I want to show you some examples, and in the end I want to give you some basic tips how to perform a good timed finishing. So let's start with the fundamentals of timed finishing. It's a complete new way how you as a player who's holding the controller can influence the shot that your player is taking. So to do a time finish, you have to press the shooting button twice. So it's not a load-driven shot anymore as in FIFA 17 and 18. And the timing when you press the shooting button for the second time is going to determine how good your finish is going to be. You can press it too early or too late, then it's going to be worse. And if you have a perfect timing, it's going to be a better shot. This feature is totally optional, so if you don't press the shooting button for a second time, you won't do a timed finish. And you also can turn it off in the controller settings. Now I want to explain the procedure, how to perform a time finishing in more detail. So in this situation, I'm through with Cristiano Ronaldo and I want to do a time finishing. So what I do now is I press the shooting button for the first time to power up my shot. So as you can see in the right bottom corner, there's a shooting bar. It's powering up at the moment. I determine how powerful my shot is going to be. Then I release the shooting button and I try to hit it for the second time when my player is about to have contact to the ball to take the shot. So this is the timing that you try to get right, and if you go too early or too late, your shot is not going to be that good, but if you hit the perfect timing, your shot is going to be more accurate and more powerful, as you can see in this example. And after you did a time finishing, there's a color above the player which indicates how your timing was. As you might have already noticed, sometimes there is a time finishing bar indicator above the player and sometimes there isn't. But it's not the case that you need this bar indicator to perform a perfect time finishing. It's possible to do without, but it's just a visual aid that you can turn on and off with the FIFA trainer. So here you see the FIFA trainer menu and you change the status to show and the mode to movement and mechanics. And now you go back or down to mechanics and turn off the pass receiver indicator and the shot elevation, leave on for the time finishing bar indicator, and if you now go back into the game, you will only have the time finishing bar indicator as a help by the FIFA trainer. From my personal experience, I think it's a good idea to turn this bar indicator on in the beginning to get an idea how the system is working. But at some point I will turn it off because then you can focus more on the animation of your player when he's going to hit the ball, because the bar indicator can be somewhat distracting, it's closing very fast, and if you just focus on the animation of your player, you're able to hit the timing perfectly right. As mentioned before, you can turn off the time finishing. This is done in the controller settings. Here you can see the options. On the second point there's time finishing, and obviously you have to switch it to off. But this doesn't mean that you're now able to perform the load-driven shot once again with the double tap of the shooting button, because the load-driven is now on a new combination. For that you have to press the L1 and R1 button on the PlayStation in combination with the shooting button, and on Xbox it's the LB and RB button, and obviously you can also combine that with the time finishing, as you can see in this example. And since we are now talking about combinations, you can also combine the time finishing with a finesse shot. For that, just press the R1 or RB button and do a double tap of the shooting button to do a finesse timed finishing. Another variant of the time finishing are headers and volleys, and the procedure is the same. You double tap for the time finishing and you try to press the button for the second time when your player is about to have contact to the ball for the volley, for the header. And from my personal experience, this is a little bit harder to get the timing right, but it's not impossible, as you can see in this example. And you can also see that even though you hit the perfect timing, it doesn't mean that you're automatically going to score. Now I want to give an overview about the different outcomes of a time finishing, which are indicated by the color above the player. There is way too early, this is indicated in red. Then there's too early, this is in yellow. Then we have the perfect time finishing in green. And then too late, which is indicated in white. We are going to start with the worst time finishings, the red ones, and this means we were way too early when we pressed the shooting button for the second time. The timing was off and the result is a very bad shot, as you can see in these examples. Most of the time your player won't hit the ball properly and the shot sometimes goes towards the stands, and this can happen when you wanted to do a load-driven shot and you have not adjusted to the new way to do it, because then you go for the old way of double tapping the shooting button for a load-driven shot. Next up are the yellow time finishings, and this means we were a little bit early with the second press of the shooting button. These shots are not so accurate and not so powerful, but if you're in a decent position, there's still a good chance that you're going to score the goal. Then we have the green time finishings, and this is what we try to achieve, the perfect timing, and these shots are more powerful and more accurate than all the other shots. But this doesn't mean, as I explained earlier, not every green time finishing is going to be a goal. Even though this would have been a very nice goal. When you press the shooting button for the second time too late, then you will get a white time finishing. And now the question is, how does this influence your shot? Not at all, because the ball is already on its way towards the goal or not, and the gameplay producers didn't want to influence the shot even though it's already on its way. So a white time finishing is basically a normal shot, so as if you wouldn't have tried to go for a time finishing. In the end, I want to give you some basic tips about the time finishing. I would recommend to not do the time finishing when you're in a situation where you're pretty sure that you're going to score with a normal finish, because then you don't take the risk about screwing up your time finish and then ending up not to score in this good situation. If you're going for a time finish, then do it when you have enough space and time to focus on the animation of your player. This is the key to get the timing right when your player is about to hit the ball, and this is easier to do when you can focus on the animation and on your player. Another thing is, when you do the time finishing, you should be more inclined to have a late timing, because this could lead to the white one, and this is just a normal shot instead of the ones when you have an early timing, the yellow and red ones, which are worse than a normal shot. So by being rather late, there is a lesser risk of a bad shot, and you have a chance to get the timing perfect and to have a very good shot by that. And if you don't succeed, you get at least a normal shot. Now we're at the end of this video about the new feature time finishing. We are going to follow up this video with more in-depth explanation on how to improve your time finishing as soon as we have more experience. We are also going to release more tutorial videos on this channel. To support this, make sure to leave a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel and activate the bell. Your support is highly appreciated. You can also find more FIFA 19 videos in the video description. You will also find more information about our private coaching, which we are going to offer also in English on FIFA 19. Thanks for your attention, keep a clean sheet, I'm out.